Bro, trust me. If I can tell you what, if you win this fight, when we fight, I knock you out, I'm gonna do a TikTok dance over your grave.
When you think you know how things are gonna go, it can change in a moment.
For training programs, meal plans, and coaching, make sure you check out khpfitnessandtraining.com.
What's going on, my fitness seekers all over the world? KHP Fitness here, and it's been a little bit since I've done one of these what I've learned stories, man. And what I want to bring to you today is talking about what I learned from the Israel Adesanya and Sean Strickland match, which is a pretty good one. Now, both of these guys are very high-level strikers. If you know anything about Israel Adesanya, who was the current champion at the time, this guy brings out movements that a lot of people just don't see. And though he's not the biggest of the guys, very tall dude, but he's not the biggest, but the hits that mess you up is the ones that you don't see. Great representative when it comes to fighting, man. This guy has a resume as long as my body, if not longer, when it comes down to it. And I'm damn near 6'2". Even when he rose into the scene, his first couple matches were just so dynamite. Then he fought some of the biggest gatekeepers, like Derek Brunson, to win his way to the top, get to the title, takes out Robert Whittaker, takes out Paulo Costa, and this guy is a beast. But I love an underdog story, and that is what I learned when it comes down to this. Pushing through as the underdog, pushing through even when you don't expect to get the W, to win. That's what I get from this story, and I want to explain that to you. If you haven't seen his commentary, this guy is a heck of a trash talker, man.
Who's the best striker on stage?
I mean, I would say me, but I mean, that man was the one that slept that man, so, you know, next to me, probably Alex. I mean, what was it like, 2-0 against Izzy? What was it, 2-0?
But on the other side, so is Izzy.
When he fought Strickland, when you saw the way Strickland stood in front of him, I bet you already knew it was a wrap. And I was like, oh no.
And if you've seen the fight between Sean Strickland and Alex Pereira, you wouldn't have thought the way that Izzy was able to take out Alex Pereira that Strickland would even have a chance against him. But boy, was that wrong. What I want to do is just go over the fight a little bit. But before I do that, you know what I want. Oh yes, you know what I want. Go ahead and hit that like, comment, and subscribe. Share this with your friends. Hit the thanks if you enjoy the channel and what I bring today. Let's get into it. The craziest thing about it is that Sean is what people would probably call a decision fighter. And if you're a decision fighter, people don't expect you to get big knockouts or anything when it comes down to it. So that's the first thing. So right off the bat, he is being the underdog. The biggest fight he had was his fight against Alex Pereira. And that was a rough fight for him. He took a really nasty left, as Alex is known for doing, giving those really nasty lefts. Took that straight to the chin, dropped him, and lost the fight in the first match, man. Craziest thing about this is that he went into the fight as the underdog. He went into the fight thinking that, man, I'm probably going to get beat up pretty badly here. And it is what it is. And when the guy is the underdog, when you have nothing to lose, you fight harder. I don't care what anybody say. When you're a champion, a lot of times you take the gas pedal off, especially if you're somebody who's used to winning, like Izzy. Izzy had the 17-0 record as a pro MMA fighter, and he was just riding on cloud nine. Like I said, he beat Whittaker, he beat Brunson, he beat Paulo Costa, he beat so many of the big guys. He beat Gastelum, he beat some of the biggest names, came back, lost to Pereira, finally beat Pereira in the final rematch that they had for the title because he had to get his title clause. This is a guy who was just riding on cloud nine. So you don't fight as hard for it when you're no longer the underdog. And I think that is the trump card that Strickland had, is that he was the underdog in this fight, and it really paid dividends. And one of the craziest things I saw in the fight, first round, was him in his feint game. He's doing the arm movement, the same arm movements that Izzy said would not work against him. He was doing those arm movements and he couldn't figure them out. He's pressuring Izzy on all the rounds. But the first round was the punch that surprised everybody. The first round, he hits him, knocks Izzy down, looping punch, straight punch, boom, boom, boom. You know how that goes. If you bring the arm around and the arm is coming straight, it's always going to beat it. And that's what happened to him, man. So that was the first round knockdown. That was the craziest thing. And then it kept going after that. The Underdog, you kind of know that there's going to be bumps and bruises. And I can relate to that. And what I learned from that is I know for a fact that opening the business, people told me don't do it. It's rough out there for trainers, this and this, and there's no lie about it. But I kept pushing. I said, you know what, I'm gonna just keep pushing on. And I got a long way to go, people. But the fact that I was able to make that transition, get to the band training and everything, I understand that Underdog, being counted out before you even make it through the first round. You kind of know that there's gonna be bumps and bruises. And I can relate to that. And what I learned from that is I know for a fact that opening the business, people told me don't do it. It's rough out there for trainers, this and this, and there's no lie about it. But I kept pushing. I said, you know what, I'm gonna just keep pushing on. And I got a long way to go, people. But the fact that I was able to make that transition, get to the band training and everything, I understand that Underdog, being counted out before you even make it through the first round. One thing I noticed through the fighting is that he stuck to the fundamentals. That's basically how I do when it comes to business and such. I stick to the fundamentals, take the clients through training, take them through the parameters, make sure they're not getting hurt, make sure they're stretching, make sure they got their stability, make sure they're building strength over time with progressive overload, and keep them healthy from year to year to year. So the fundamentals is a lot of things that people forget, and they burst through and they trying to go for that knockout formula, but they don't realize you have to build upon it, man. You build upon it, you get a great result from that. And rounds 3, 4, and 5 were even more the same, man. At the end of the round 5, he started to get hyped because he knew something was different. He knew through all those feints and kicks, question mark kicks, punches, blocks, he knew something was different when it came to this fight. And sure enough, man, at the end of the match, he gets his hands raised, and it was unanimous too. You can see it. This guy who's joking around, playing around, it was like one of the first times where you saw he was super duper humble. He didn't expect it.
How good does that feel, man? What, am I fucking dreaming? Am I gonna wake up? Somebody hit me. Oh my God, you guys. Literally, bro, never in a million years would I thought I'd be here, man. Like.
But if you're the underdog, you gotta expect the up and downs are gonna happen. You get knocked out sometimes, you get back up, and if you can get back up, you can be a champion. You can succeed, man. Success is not guaranteed. That's the problem that people expect. But you know what is guaranteed is that if you don't try, you're gonna fail. Like, comment, and subscribe, guys. Share this with your friends. Hope you guys have a great day. It's not where you train, it's how you train. If you're the underdog out there, keep pushing, man. We got this. I'll talk to you soon.